All right, I'm going to call us to order. It is 7 o'clock. We do not have any citizens present, so we will move on to our first agenda item. Consider approval of minutes for October 10th, 2024, and take appropriate action. So those are emailed to you, so you could review them ahead of time, but you also have them so you can look at them again.
I will say David's name
David's
is
name is
misspelled
spelled
and
wrong.
Kristen's name is
Oh
misspelled.
yeah, because that's his Kirsten. Do you know that I looked at that and thought that was my name because my sister-in-law's name is Kirsten and she was Kirsten Hansen and I was Kristen Hansen for the same 6-month period and we got each other's mail at college. It was fun. Yes, so I should be IR.
I don't know if this is a correction or whether it's a clarification for me.
Okay.
Under the Yellow Blockapod book drives,
Yeah.
was the comment actually made delivery to the Children's Hospital?
No, it's supposed, well, I don't know if the comment was made to
Yeah.
that effect
I
or
was
not.
here. I know that hasn't been our intent.
Okay.
I don't recall.
I don't know.
No, it was not the Children's Hospital.
No.
I just put it in there because I was thinking that we would discuss that and then I put it in the minutes appropriately.
Okay.
Okay, so just to the hospital?
Hospital.
Okay, and that'll be
I had
a
a comment
correction.
on it.
So we have 3 corrections.
Mhm.
Anyone else have any corrections or comments?
Motion to approve those 3 corrections.
All right, David moves with corrections. And Lee seconds. And my pen has to catch up to my voice. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? All right, passes. Okay, so our next item is to review the library board calendar and meeting times and take appropriate action. So with the library's closing time changing Monday through Thursday, we will need to do one thing, which is change our start time. And then thing number 2 that we need to do is decide is if these are the dates that we would like to have going forward.
Are these still the second month?
These are all the, I think these are all the second Thursday. So this is what is already the second Thursday.
I don't have any issue with having them at the same days. They can be tentative or standard and changed if needed,
Okay.
as they always have been.
Yeah. Okay. So you want to, what I'm hearing you say is leave dates as is and adjust as needed.
Time, so standard time, 7 PM, but the library closure on Thursdays will be what again? I forgot.
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock, so that's typically not going to have time, so we'd have to move back to that. I would suggest 6.
That would, yes. So if we do 6 and dinner's 5:30, is that doable for everybody?
That gets 2 hours of meeting.
Which is what we have now. We typically run about an hour, except for days where we have lengthy things or longer. Yeah.
We
So
have left here
after 9 before when we've had a lot to discuss. So does anybody have 6 o'clock?
So 5:30 dinner, 6 PM start time.
Dinner.
Heather, do you need me to put in minutes the dinner start time or just the 6 o'clock?
Go ahead and include it in the minutes.
Yeah. And that is actually standard. Like we were the only board that met this late. So that is pretty, that would then bring us in line with what the other boards are doing as far as their meeting times. So, all right. So now we have to, we do need to motion. So the motion would be to accept the dates as they're listed with adjusting as needed as we go through the year. Because obviously some of us might not know what we're doing in August of 2025 yet. So just accept them as is and make changes as needed And then we are moving dinner to 5:30 and the meeting start time to 6 o'clock.
Someone other than you needs to make that
Yes,
motion.
someone has to make that motion, but that is what you would be motioning for.
I made the suggestion, so I'm not gonna.
No, so you want to start, Paul, somebody has to motion first. No one's motioned.
I said I made the suggestion, so I'm not gonna motion.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll make the motion.
Okay, so Lee motions. Is there a second? All seconds. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? All right, so that passes. And now turn it over to Lee for the trustee report. We do. So that was fun. Thanks for turning that in.
Mark my calendar. There were three main things that jumped out. The only book clubs I've been in are virtual during the pandemic, but I know they're very popular. And I know you have the great books. We have the great books.
We have two
We
here.
have two at least going. But I just thought it was noteworthy that the Irving Library really goes all in on it. And they have staff-led discussions, book club kits where they have maybe 5 or 6 copies or something. And then the website, that bookclubs.com, might be a good thing to even publicize to people that inquire about book clubs. There's a lot of resources on that website for libraries that are running book clubs and for individual groups that would want to organize more. So I thought the whole idea, I guess, that caught my eye was the supplying sets of books, which would get expensive if you had very many going at one time. But I think the other tools that are available or something patrons might inquire about. And then I did pick up that story about the Montgomery County book reclassification. They had a citizen board that determined that a book about a Native American tribe was, they suggested it be moved to fiction rather than nonfiction. They changed the genre. And it was actually a nonfiction book. It had good research behind it. It had, it wasn't written as a fiction book. And so they moved to change it to fiction. And I've heard of, challenging books, but not changing the genre.
The genre designation.
Yeah. But anyway, they did not succeed because the county and not only reversed their decision, but dismantled the board. But I thought maybe the hidden lesson in there is the responsibility we have as an advisory board to make prudent decisions about all the people that
Mhm.
serve the community
Yes.
and to keep the classification of books in the hands of the professional.
Yes.
And factual based.
Yeah. And then we joked and talked seriously about bookmobiles, but I thought it was interesting that the Austin Public Library asked their volunteer kind of charity league to raise the funds to donate a van
Mm.
for books. And it would be an organization, I have a friend that's in it down there, kind of like our Civic League that mostly raises for scholarships for kids. They have a big Christmas tour coming up. They
Oh,
raise a
yes,
lot of
yeah.
money in the community. But anyway, that organization, the Civic League in Austin, raised the funds to fund the van. And they're going to launch it this summer. And what they're focusing on are the summer book lists from the school district.
Oh.
And they, every few weeks, they change the kind of the age focus, or they change it just another set of books that are on the summer reading list, so that the kids that don't have a whole lot of access or a lot of mobility can get the books that their school is recommending
Mhm.
from the van. And I thought it was fun that they named it Our Van. But anyway, that's maybe another way to skin a cat in terms of
Yeah.
asking, our Civic League to consider that as a project.
Mhm. Yeah.
outside of city funds. To maybe find some of that because of our more remote communities that are around.
Mm-hmm.
But I like that they were using the school district's reading.
I like that too.
So those were the big three things that hit me. Can I tell them about Georgia? About the poetry?
Oh, yes,
Yeah, we
absolutely.
have, I'm in both of the writing classes. And the Word Weavers is the poetry class, the third Tuesday of every month. And one of our colleagues in that class won a big award from the Texas Poetry Society.
Oh, wow.
And I had to put it on the social media sites. It's on the Facebook page for the library. Her name's Georgia Clinton, and she is a writer. But there's a picture of the teacher in the class, Chris Vaccinated from Georgia, and another classmate, BJ Austin, on the social media sites. But in the form she chose was a very challenging form. It's called Golden Show. And you take a line from a famous poem, and then in the last word in every line have the same number of lines as that line. And the last word in every one of your lines has to be in the order of the line you chose.
Mm.
The winter, the cold and deep, I promise to keep, but you would have to keep your last word
The same.
saying the line. So it's a very challenging one. So she wanted to
That's amazing.
So the library got a little bit of privilege.
But she won the Texas Poetry Society.
Texas Poetry Society Award for the Golden Show. Okay. And her name's Georgia Clinton. Georgia Clinton. She's also an actress. She did the one woman show of Holly
Very cool. Thank you, Lee.
So she had attended the poetry classes that were.
That'll happen here. Yeah. All right. Next up is patron feedback, of which there is none. Yeah, nope, there's none.
Unless you have.
Unless you have heard something in the wild, seen something on, well, seen something on social media or next door or what have you, or your neighbor has said, I know that you are on the library board and I would like the library to know what have you. So, anybody have anything like that? Nope. Zach?
Question.
Yeah.
The background for it is the library feedback from the Listen 360 review platform.
Mm-hmm.
If we didn't have anything, we would be able to provide stuff like that.
Oh, you're always welcome to bring stuff like that too, because your neighbor is also a patron. Does that make sense?
Yes, okay. But
Yeah.
we just don't have to be specifically from this Listen 360.
Mm-mm. That's typically where it comes from. And then it's like also in addition to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So if nobody has anything, then it is Heather's turn for the director's report.
Thankfully, voting is over. We had thousands upon thousands through the door for that. But we are past that now for early voting for October and voting day. You can see a couple of pictures here. We did go to Haunts and Houses at the historical park, and they told us they estimated a little over 1,000 people came through. And you can see Dustin in the
Of course.
in the lovely dinosaur costume, which we had a very good turnout representation for the library there. He's not quite sure about that. Yes, Dustin and Linda attended that, and I think it went very well. Oh, and Taylor as well, our new young adult librarian. We will be having another blood drive. They were very happy with our last one, with the turnout they received, so we will be having another one the Monday before Thanksgiving.
You will get a beach towel if
Um,
you come. That's what the picture says.
My bad. I forgot to replace the beach towel on this one. I moved it over before I did the online one. It's actually going to be a blanket for
Oh,
for
okay. So
winter.
it's a blanket.
Yes, that is my bad.
Oh, that's all right.
But that will be a blanket. We have our second annual Tiny Art Show, if anyone would like to be a part of it this year.
Last year you had to be of a certain age to participate.
It is an adult program. I believe they will have a teen age group for it,
Okay.
but we
think it's
may
like
just be giving
12
the
or something.
canvas instead of giving all of the
Canvas.
supplies. Last year we gave paints and brushes and
Right.
canvases and easels. This year we'll most likely just be giving the canvas, and we'll have the easels here
Okay.
for display instead of providing everything. And that way patrons are free to use whatever medium they see fit.
Do you remember off the top of your head how many participants we had last time?
It was upwards of 40.
They were really interesting too. So I like this
Yeah.
because it's what can you do with a 2x2 square?
A lot.
Mm-hmm.
So we are starting up a teen advisory. They will be voting on a new name, the teen advisory board, so that we're not in conflict with council or anything. They'll be voting on a new name. But it is going to be a new place for teens to come and tell us what they want to be involved in. What programs do they want? What materials do they want? Where do they want to spend their time, volunteer? Similarly, just today we have finished moving our young adult collection downstairs.
Oh.
There's a nook in the back behind nonfiction. It's kind of a nook area, level with the pickleball court, that we felt would make a good place to give them their own space. So that there will be a space specifically for teens. We have not got it decorated or anything like that yet, but we are creating an area specifically for the teens.
And then what was the age again on the teen advisory board? I feel like it was like
13 and up.
13.
They have to be a teen.
They have to be a teen. Okay. I feel like
13 to 19.
Probably 18, 13 to 18. And as you know, Santa and Cookies is coming up. If any of you guys that plan to volunteer on a regular basis, let me know so we can get you signed up on the volunteer portal, and you'll get reminders of the events and places to sign up. If you're just going to come to this one to be a part of the board and be here, that's great. We're happy you're here. But if you plan to volunteer on a regular basis, let me know and we'll get you signed up with the actual thing so we can record your hours and let you know, hey, you volunteered this long, and we can record it for the state.
and then what time is that start again? Is it
5 to 7.
5?
So volunteers will start arriving about 4:30.
Is Santa gonna have his fancy chair again?
We are using the same Santa, so if he had a fancy chair last year, he will most likely have it again. I'm not sure.
I
I
know one of my parents.
Is this your
worked
first
for
Santa
her.
and Cookies?
it is my
Okay,
first.
that's what I was kind of remembering.
I
Okay.
think y'all had Santa, and I say y'all, at the time it was y'all, was the week before I started here.
Yeah.
It's a correct.
It is. It's a good time.
And then I've also included our upcoming closures. We'll be closed for Thanksgiving and Black Friday, Christmas Eve and Christmas. To stay consistent with the rest of the city, we'll close at 5 p.m. on New Year's Eve.
Okay.
And then, of course, New Year's Day will also be closed.
Very good. All right. It's my turn again. Oh, do you have a question?
Yeah, just to make sure. So the 12/2/24 is the second annual Tiny Art Show registration can. And then at the very bottom, the second annual Tiny Art Show paint night, which is Wednesday, November 20th.
So that is like adult craft night. It is a craft that is in conjunction with,
Tiny.
if they want to paint their entry that night, they're welcome to.
Okay, so.
They are two
you're
separate
saying that
events.
12/2 is the registration begin.
Yes, they can register then. They can start turning in their,
When's the when can you start picking them up? I guess is the question.
Yeah,
I think it's the second is when you can pick them up and you can bring them back starting that day.
Okay.
Because we'll accept them through the beginning of January.
okay. Sorry, the bottom poster.
Yes.
confused me. Wait, that's also the second.
That's a paint night. So
Adult paint.
yeah, that's a paint night.
That's the monthly adult craft.
And it is, we're doing a series of events focused on
Ah,
the
I
tiny
see,
art
okay.
show. So it will be a tiny art paint night, if
Alright.
that makes sense.
Practice.
Yes, yes. All right. Any other questions about Heather's report? All right, so then what you have next in your packet is what we presented to council on Tuesday for our kind of year in review. This used to happen twice a year and now it is once a year, which is I think great.
And I apologize that the printer cut your pages.
Yeah.
I will fill in the missing information.
Yeah. So I have my one from the other day. So the increases in library visits was 14%, circulation was up 15%, and then new borrowers was up 7%. So overall, just a lot of growth at the library.
Any idea how that drives with growth in population for the city?
Oh, I don't know. That would be an interesting piece of information to investigate. So on this one, there are 14,061 registered library members or library users. 70% of them are in Farmers Branch, 23% live in Carrollton, but we have that reciprocity with Carrollton. So your library card, you can get a library card there, just like we can here, but it's only for physical materials. So nobody is using anybody's online services. And then 7% of registered users are TechShare residents, which you can only get 5 items at a time. And that's part of the library's accreditation, so you have to participate. And it is run by the Texas State Library and Archives Commission.
Can I explain the map?
Yes, and then the map is like where the users are located. So this is where the library cards are, where the people with cards are living. Yeah, there are some people. Those would be TechShare cards probably. And then if you work in the city of Dallas, I learned this the other day, you can get a Dallas Public Library card. Yeah. So if you did not know that.
I have one because I'm an educator.
Yeah. Yeah, which is cool. And you can see there's a lot of, it's getting very red on the west side as well, which is helpful for us and our endeavors. All right. And then we also told them about the innovation zone and its growth and everything that is available, which we all know about. They seem to, I don't know.
One councilman liked that we were doing that
Yeah,
and encouraged us to keep
encourage us
going.
to add more things. Yeah, they like that there were more of these things and that, so I think he would like to see, was Roger Neal,
Yes.
adding more, what he was kind of the mindset of what more could we add to the innovation zone. We'll get to all of their ideas for us when we get to the end of our PowerPoint. And then the next page is all the library programs. So you see the firefighters are friends, 106 attendees, and then Creature Teacher up at the top during summer reading, 245 attendees. And then is this bottom one is the Total Eclipse viewing party, which was 175. And then Santa and Cookies with 350 attendees. And then the map on this page is where the people coming to the library programs live for those programs that require a safety waiver. So then we kind of have an idea of like how far away people are coming from to come to some of the libraries, like Highland Village, the Colony, Flower Mound. Like I thought that was interesting that it's going so far north. Grapevine, yeah. Even there's somebody from Euless. So Irving, I mean, yeah, yeah.
There's
So
somebody even above that in Creek Ranch.
yeah. Yeah, Craig Ranch. Oh yeah, Creek Ranch up there, yeah. Yeah, so I thought that's kind of an interesting map to kind of all the people coming into the city. And then this was just the update of things that are coming, the new library hours. Obviously our meeting time is adjusted by that. And the adult craft nights will have to adjust their times, as will the Great Books groups and the ESL group, which they're going to start at 7 and just run 7 to 8 instead of 7 to 8:30. And then we've got the Joel Book of Flood coming up, which we'll talk about, Sand and Cookies, which we've discussed already. And then a comical reaction improv workshop, the Tiny Art Show, which we talked about, and then another science program.
We actually have someone coming in for that science program.
That's fun. Are they doing like liquid nitrogen situation?
I believe so.
Yeah, that's always a good time.
What is this workshop?
The Comical Reaction is the name of the company.
Oh, I thought it was be teaching you how to react funny. To
No, that's funny. Yeah, so that's the thing. And then questions. The mayor had told his directive to council prior to this study session was he wanted all of them to come prepared with directives for us of things that we could do. Let's see, the third